What's up guys, Eric Vasquez here from teachmetodesign.com. Now if you've recently upgraded your Photoshop to CC 2017, then there's some cool new features in there that you may want to learn about. And today I'm going to be covering one of those new features by showing you guys some of the cool new improvements that have been made to the Liquify tool so that you can use them to your advantage to help you with your retouching in Photoshop. Here all I have is this cool portrait photo, this nice looking guy here, and I basically just want to show you some of the cool things that you can do with the new and improved Liquify tool. So I have a couple of tutorials already on the Liquify tool, but they were mostly relevant to older versions of Photoshop. So with this latest upgrade, I want to show you guys some of the cool new things that you can do. So I'm just going to press Command J to make a copy of my background layer. And I'm going to pop right up here to filter and choose the Liquify option. Now in previous versions of Photoshop you did have a lot of these same tools, the smooth tool, the pucker and bloat tools, as well as the freeze, mask, and thaw tools, which are very useful features, and I think that was more the subject of one of my previous videos using the Liquify tool, but I'll put a link for that below because that is definitely still relevant even in this new version of Photoshop. But what hasn't been seen before in Photoshop is this option here called the Face Aware Liquify. Now check it out. If you drop this menu down here, you'll see that you have eyes, nose, mouth, face shape, and what this is doing really is just recognizing these different areas of your image. And what's nice about it is you'll notice that there are two columns, right? There's this left column as well as a right column, and that actually is super important because the left column is going to control the left eye, and you see here just changing the eye size, it's only changing that one eye, and then you have the right eye, so you can make that one a little bit bigger, and you can basically have so much more control over each side of this person's face. So you can also control the height of the eyes, which is pretty handy, right? So I'm just gonna mess with this a little bit, maybe expand the eye width, and we're just going to do some kind of subtle retouching stuff like we would normally do on a photo like this. Except now, I mean, it's so much easier because you don't have to worry about messing up any of the other surrounding features like you had to kind of do in previous versions. So here I'm just going to tilt the eye a little bit, the left eye. You can also control the distance between the eyes, which you can have some fun with too, depending on the look you're going for. I mean, you can exaggerate this if you wanted to make it look a bit more like a caricature, or you can just kind of do some subtle stuff. Now the next menu I'm coming over into is the nose, and what you can control here is the height of the nose as well as the width of the nose. So I'm going to make it a little bit more narrow, I think, or you can make it wider, but I just want to go for kind of a subtle, more natural looking retouch here, looking for a more natural looking result. I'm going to pop down into the mouth, and you'll see that you also have these other options here for smile, upper and lower lip, as well as the width and height of the mouth. So maybe give, you can make them frown, or you can, have them be smiling, yay! So whatever you want, you can just have fun with that. You can have them be smiling, or you can have them be frowning. If he's happy, if he's sad. Right? So for now, I'll give him a little bit of a smirk. You can make the upper lip a little bit larger or smaller, whatever you want. And you can do the same thing with the lower lip. Now you can make the mouth more narrow or more wide, but we'll leave it, roughly where it is. Maybe make it a little bit less wide. And then for the height, let's just see what that does. And this is something that you can use on a case-by-case basis. Now that I've manipulated the mouth a little bit, I'm going to just control the, maybe go back and change the height of the nose, something like that. And then you can come down here into our last menu under the Face Aware Liquify, and you have these other options for the forehead, the chin height, the jawline, and the face width. So for the forehead, you can just go ahead, raise it a little bit. Chin height, maybe you want to bring it up, or I'm going to bring it down, in fact. Jawline, kind of the same thing. You can squish his jaw like that, or make it really like bloated, like square looking jaw. But I think somewhere in the middle is going to be pretty good. And now the overall width of the face. So you can make it more narrow like that, or just go really wide. All right, so I'm going to make it a little more narrow like that. And then let's just go ahead and hit OK. And now you can see if I turn the visibility of this layer on and off, our original and what we just did. So it's a little more exaggerated, you know, but I just wanted to try to even out the eyes a little bit and change a few of these other things. Like he's smiling a little bit more, his face is a little bit more narrow, but it's pretty subtle. It's not over the top. Now, if you did want to do something over the top, I'll show you guys how you can do that too. It's basically, you know, just repeating the same steps, except, you know, exaggerating some of these proportions a little bit more. So if I pop into the face again, I'm just going to, you know, make the eye size like really big, make the eyes really large, like that, make them wider. And you just want to exaggerate certain proportions, but maybe not all of them. Typically in characters, you just kind of pick a couple of features that stand out. Let's make his eyes, make his eyes narrow. This poor guy. Okay, nose height. Maybe pinch it a little bit like that. The mouth, big old smile. Maybe like a narrow lip, like that. And we're going to squish that in a little bit as well. And let's do something like that for the mouth height. Now for the overall face shape, I'm going to push the forehead all the way up. Maybe bring the chin up a little bit, squish the jaw, and make the head a little bit more narrow like that. Now, what you can do from here is I'm actually going to grab the freeze tool, the freeze mask tool, and because I'm happy with the way that, you know, the eyes and the nose and everything look, I'm going to paint over that with this tool really quickly. And what that's going to do is freeze it so that I can't mess that up if I decide to apply any further liquefying to this. So I'll show you guys what I mean in just a second. So I just want to paint over the jaw a little bit here. Okay, now if I go and I just grab my regular forward warp tool, I'm going to make his head a little bit more narrow up top here. All right, just going to push this in a little bit at a time. And you can increase or decrease the size of your brush the same way that we would our normal brush, just by using the left and right bracket keys. All right, and I'm just going to bring this in a little bit more. So this head is looking pretty narrow. It's very exaggerated, okay, and it doesn't look realistic at all. That's the point. Okay. But instead of, you know, exaggerating every proportion, or every facial feature rather, I'm just kind of exaggerating, you know, the eyes and the narrowness of the face and things like that. You don't want to exaggerate every single proportion or every single feature at the same time. So here I'm just going to kind of bring his shoulders down. Something like that, right? Maybe bring the neck in. And you'll see that as I do this, it's not affecting anything that I've painted over with the freeze warp tool. All right. The freeze mask tool, sorry. All right, so now I'm going to go ahead and hit OK on that because I'm happy with that. And you'll see if I poke the eye out again, where we started, the original, and now, ooh, 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 ooh. Okay, so using this new Liquify feature, you can kind of do some subtle stuff like that to make it look more natural. Or you can go really over the top and exaggerate it like that. And you can have some fun with this. I mean, you know, you can add other features and you know, retouching to this as well. If you, depending on how far you wanted to take it, you could make it even look like a cartoon or a drawing or anything like that. But for now, I just wanted to take you guys through that feature really quickly. Some of the new updates to the Liquify tool in Adobe Photoshop CC17. So I hope you guys have enjoyed the tutorial. If so, please give us a thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to the YouTube channel. And as always, thank you guys for your support. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.